All right, let's talk about AI. I mean, it's changing pretty much everything about how we deliver projects, right? And, it's raising this one huge, almost existential question for all of us in the field. You know the one I'm talking about? Will intelligent machines, will AI, soon be running our most complex projects? Will it make us, the human planners, totally obsolete? I know, it's a super dramatic question, but the answer? Well, it's not a simple yes or no. The reality is actually far more interesting. See, if you're thinking about this as some kind of AI takeover, you're kind of missing the point. The real story here is about a powerful partnership, a team-up between machine capability and our own human expertise. So let's do this. Let's separate the hype from the reality, because the true value of AI and project intelligence, it's not really about automation. It's about augmentation. And trust me, that's a completely different and way more powerful way of thinking about this whole thing. Yeah, the key concept we've got to wrap our heads around is augmented intelligence. So what does that mean? Well, it means we shouldn't think of AI as the new project manager that's going to replace us. No way. Instead, think of it as the most powerful tool a human planner has ever had. Its whole purpose is to amplify our own intelligence, helping us process these just massive amounts of information and see patterns we'd absolutely miss on our own.
But, and this is the crucial point, right here, think about an amplifier for a second. It doesn't care what sound you feed into it. It just makes it louder. That's its job. And AI is exactly the same. It can be a massive amplifier for foresight, or it can be a massive multiplier for error. It all comes down to one thing. What are you feeding it?
And this really shows the two very different paths you can go down. On one hand, you feed an AI clean, well-structured data, and boom, it becomes this incredible force multiplier for foresight. But what happens if you feed it messy or maybe overly optimistic data? Well, it's not going to fix your mistakes for you. Nope, it's going to take those mistakes and amplify them everywhere, across the entire organization. This really gets to the heart of the whole issue. And there's a quote from the source material that just captures it perfectly. AI doesn't understand the context or the consequences of a project, It has no common sense about what a delay actually means in the real world. All it does is recognize patterns. And that right there is why the quality of the data you feed it is absolutely everything. Okay, so when we govern it properly and we're feeding it good, clean information, where does AI really shine? What's it actually good at? Well, the source material breaks it down into 5 specific areas where it provides just incredible, but also really bounded value. Yeah, you can really think of these as its superpowers. First up, pattern recognition. I mean, sifting through these giant data sets to find connections we just can't see. Second is early warning detection, spotting those little risks a human might totally miss. Third, and this one's huge, is rapid scenario testing, running countless what-if analyses in just seconds. Fourth is all about refining forecasts with probabilistic data. And finally, number 5, monitoring productivity, to catch those deviations before they explode into major problems. And this brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole story, the human, us. With AI handling all that heavy computational lifting, our role as planners doesn't just disappear. Oh no, it evolves. It becomes something way more strategic. Okay, let's be really clear about this division of labor. An AI can totally model a risk, but it can't own that risk. It can't accept the consequences if things go wrong, and it sure can't legally certify progress. You see, those responsibilities, they remain fundamentally human. We have to resist what the source material calls the illusion of predictive certainty. Super important. So, who is this new planner? What does this new role look like? Well, first, they are the interpreter. This person doesn't just blindly accept the AI's output. Nope, they challenge it, they question it. They're the ones who have to decipher what these machine-generated insights actually mean for the project and the real world. Second, this new planner becomes the guardian. This person is and should be absolutely obsessed with data integrity. They are the ones who make sure the project's structural skeleton, the schedule, the data, the core logic, is solid and clean. Why? Because they know the AI is only as smart as the information it's eating. And third, they're the translator. This is so critical. The AI might spit out a raw probability, right? Something like there's a 73% chance of a 15-day delay. The translator is the one who takes that raw number and converts it into meaningful language that leadership can actually understand and use to make a real decision. They provide the all-important context.
Okay, so to make all of this actually work, to make sure AI is a force for good and not just another source of risk, organizations can't just go out and buy a cool new tool. That's not enough. They need to build a framework. They need to establish some rules.
And this governance framework really rests on three key pillars. First, you've got accountability. We have to know who is ultimately responsible for what the AI puts out. Second, override protocols. We need clear, defined rules for when a human has to step in and say, wait a minute. And third, transparency. We've got to have a clear paper trail, a record of how these AI-supported decisions were actually made. And all of this really brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. The future isn't about some automated world where machines take over. It's about creating a powerful partnership. The future of project planning is augmented, not automated. It's a future where our human expertise guides and governs this incredible machine capability. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. Remember this. Every project schedule you build, every progress report you file, every single piece of data you create, it's a lesson. Your AI is right there, constantly learning from your practices. So the only real question left is, what are you teaching it?